Cover your motherfucking ears.
All right, everybody, we're back. We have taken a break. We've washed the smell of Super Mario World out of our mouths. Can you wash a smell out of your mouth? This
yes,
sense.
That's how that works.
I made myself some hot chocolate in my Tetris mug, so I can warm up with a nice warm beverage while we're talking about stuff that happened. Because it's time for my favorite segment and your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Strap yourselves in for Week Old News. Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago. And first up, this is a weird story.
Yeah.
Still not sure I completely understand it. So GameSpot reports Nintendo shifts blame for Dispatch Switch version censorship as players request refunds. So the story at first was that Dispatch got censored on Switch, and of course the headlines are all written to be clickbait, and they're all like, Nintendo censored Dispatch because Nintendo censors things. And I'm looking at like, no, wait a second. Nintendo used to censor things. Now they don't give a solitary fuck. I mean, there's hentai all over the eShop. Like, so something's not adding up here. So I kind of ignored this story because I figured it would just go away. But then Nintendo commented on it, and that's where I get really confused. The statement, so this is coming from the GameSpot article. Nintendo released a statement denying that it was directly responsible for this decision. The statement per Go Nintendo reads, quote, Nintendo requires all games on its platforms to receive ratings from independent organizations and to meet our established content and platform guidelines. While we inform partners when their titles don't meet our guidelines, Nintendo does not make changes to partner content. We also do not discuss specific content or the criteria used in making these determinations.
I mean, but you do, though. Like, they have censored games in the past.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
No, I know, but
that. Like, yeah, they don't do that anymore, like, at all. Almost to the... I mean, just think of it, during the Switch generation, we've had several stories of things getting censored on PlayStation that weren't censored on Switch. Like, they went so far in the other direction that Nintendo's just like, fuck it. Put whatever on our system.
That's fine.
At the time of the Switch release, Dispatch developer Ad Hoc stated that it, quote, worked with Nintendo to ensure the content within the title met the criteria to release on their platforms, but the core narrative and gameplay experience remained identical to the original release. But after Nintendo's statement, who to blame for covering Dispatch's naughty bits up is unclear. Yeah, I'm pointing out double standards as games like Cyberpunk 2077 have released on Nintendo platforms without such censorship, but it's worth mentioning that, at least in the case of Cyberpunk, there are distinct regional versions of certain games. The Japanese version of Cyberpunk, rated Z by Japanese rating board 0, lacks nudity and extreme gore. So the theory here is that it may be that Ad Hoc decided against releasing regional versions of Dispatch, opting to submit just one version of the game to the Nintendo eShop as a cost-effective measure. Whatever the case, Nintendo fans were flummoxed by the lack of any disclosure about the content restrictions until right when the port launched on January 28th. That sounds like the one that makes the most sense to me, that they created one version that met the ratings across the board and then just released that worldwide. It's still weird. This whole thing's weird. Like, this is a weird story.
It is a weird story.
Like, how did this... I guess you don't really hear about high-profile games with censorship in them that often.
Right. But, like, if it's self-censorship, like...
Yeah, they censor. Like,
ultimately, if that's what it is...
Yeah. At the end of the day, Nintendo didn't do it. They're allowed to change their game whenever they want. It's just, like, to adhere to Japanese censorship things. Like...
Yeah.
That's still weird. It's such a weird story.
It is. You know, it's not a weird story, though. It was just a story that we're going to talk about just seemingly forever now. Nintendo Life reports that Google's Project Genie is basically a huge plagiarism tool. So when will Nintendo's legal ninjas strike? Or have they been in touch already? Like, so Google, they are really in on AI.
Oh my god. Like, are they ever?
Yeah, they're really really, really in on AI. And they have a new tool called Project Genie. It is a generative AI tool where you are able to create playable-ish gaming worlds. And it's stolen. I mean, it's just all stolen. Like the video that's shared here in this article is, I mean, it's not Breath of the Wild, but it is AI slop-generated Breath of the Wild. You know, like, you can very clearly see that this was not made by Nintendo, but it is certainly inspired by the games that Nintendo made. The character that is in there is you know, Wink. Might not be Link, but it's definitely Wink. He's in there. Like, it's just, I don't know how worried we need to be about this kind of thing yet, right? Because yes, it created a game world that you can somewhat run around, but there's no game here. There's not actually anything you can do. But with how quickly technology moves forward, what are we, 6 months away from it being like, make Grand Theft Auto 7? Here it is. You know?
It may not be any good, but
it'll be out before Grand Theft Auto 6, which maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe that was actually all right.
For people without standards. Just to kind of, what you're saying about it being not something you might not need to worry about, this next article was reassuring. Directly connected to the one that you just read, Time Extension reports, quote, built on theft and plagiarism, a growing number of game developers are sick to death of generative AI. So the stats in this made me really happy. The study reveals that the number of games industry professionals actively using generative AI has risen slightly since 2021, from 31% to 33%. However, the overall vibe about the controversial tech has shifted somewhat more dramatically. 2 years ago, 18% of respondents said that they thought generative AI is having a negative impact on the game industry, while this year's survey, that figure has risen to 52%. Last year, the figure sat at 30%. So that the number of people that are wising up to AI being bad is growing. Another said that, quote, I'd rather quit the industry than use generative AI, while someone else revealed the standing rule within their studio. If one of us brings up using Gen AI in any of our work, then it's safe to assume that we've been assimilated by the thing and should be burned alive by Kurt Russell.
I understood that reference. Yeah, no, it is definitely a good thing to see. The problem is that they're not the ones making the decision.
Exactly. Like, you've got the corporate overlords are saying we need to use this so that we can get rid of you. And then all of the people that they're forcing to use this tool that they don't want to use are like, this is terrible. This, like so many other things in our current society, is just heading towards a real nasty place.
It really is. It just really fucking is. Like, there is, and we're not certainly going to go too deep into it, because this really isn't the proper forum for that. But everything that happened with Grok and Twitter and kids, and we can just kind of leave it there. Like, if you think that shit's not going to start showing up, like in game, like, it's already there. You know, like, there's just it's fucking dangerous, man. It's irresponsible. Like, getting beyond
the
all
now,
the, like...
Again, not even talking about the specifics, but the news right now, there are major serious outlets, reporting images from crime scenes that have been enhanced by AI that then show things that are different from reality.
Yeah, like, that's just not fucking okay.
Like, that's not accurate anymore. Like, this is not a depiction of what actually happened or even what this person looks like. It's just not. It's
like we're going so
dangerous.
We're going so far beyond, like having to scroll past all the tralalelo, tralila, bongadio, babadio, whatever fucking Italian brain rot bullshit games on the PlayStation Store. Like, we're so far fucking past that into like what's actually dangerous about this. And when we talk about it, you know, when we look at and weigh, you know, like, here's some of the positives that AI can be used for and different things that it can do and where it could be helpful. The danger is in the creative aspect of it. Mm-hmm. That has always been like for me, that's always been the biggest thing. Like, using AI to like look up information or to help with a math, but like, it's really not all that different than being like, hey Google, and then Google just told me what the fuck it was anyway. Like, there's some similar, you know, there's enough to where I can be like, all right, it's fine. Once you get into that creative aspect, though, that's where you start to just get into this fucking dangerous place. And also because most of us, and I'm including you and me in this, Chris, because I guarantee you there are things that we have seen and been like, oh, that's fucking weird. And like, it wasn't actually reality. And it may have taken us a minute or two to be like, oh, no, okay, I see where that's both. Right, and we're fucking looking for it. So if we're actively aware and looking for this stuff, what is my fucking aunt, you know, who can't fucking sync her watch to her phone, but she can certainly scroll through the TikToks and like look at videos, and she doesn't fucking know what Sora is, you know? It's fucking dangerous. It's scary, man. I don't care for it.
Yeah. I agree. It's not great. So let's move on to some happier news. Dan, what's our next story?
What I do care for, though, Chris, is that Push Square tells us that God of War, the TV show, has recruited its Thor and Odin actors. So Kratos, as we know, is going to be played by the wonderfully bearded Ryan Hurst. We know that Sif is going to be played by Teresa Palmer. Heimdall is going to be played by Max Parker. Just the other day, we got Thor as Olafur Darri Olafsson. He is a really scary fucking dude on Severance. He is a giant fucking dude. And if you've watched Severance, he's like the enforcer for the company. Like, he's a really big fucking scary dude. But then Thor or Odin is going to be played by fucking Mandy Patinkin, who's like legit one of the greatest actors of our time. Has been in nothing but amazing shit, and it gives me a lot of hope for this show because Mandy Patinkin doesn't need the paycheck. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he does things.
He's done it all.
And he does things now that are interesting, that are good, that he wants to do. And I'm really, really getting excited for this show. Mandy Patinkin as that particular version of Odin, I think is going to be really, really interesting.
So there was just a new update on this whole ad hoc dispatch situation. Apparently they're working on we're already working with Nintendo on a path forward. While we can't make any specific promises just yet, we're confident we'll be able to push an update to address at least some of the censored content. I'll get ahead of it now and say that between dev time and the console submission process, we're talking weeks, not days.
That's right. Tits are back on the menus, boys.
Just
or penis? I don't know what
from,
was censored.
Nintendo. I don't
either. Sure.
Just minutes ago, we shared a story featuring a lengthy comment from Ad Hoc Studio, the team behind Dispatch, explaining how the censorship came to be. Nintendo content guidelines prevented it. Let's see. Dispatch on both Switch and Switch 2 has been censored in a number of ways. When opening up the Dispatch settings menu on PC and PS5, there are censorship toggles for replaced licensed music, visual censorship, and profanity censorship. On Switch and Switch 2, the visual censorship toggle is completely missing, meaning visual censorship is always on. This results in multiple scenes where nudity is covered up by black boxes. Furthermore, there's at least one scene where a character is moaning during a sex scene that has been muted. This censorship came as a surprise to Nintendo fans looking forward to the game, and in the days following launch we've seen a ton of pushback online along with plenty of refund requests. We've also seen developer Ad Hoc and Nintendo share statements on the matter, but they were vague enough to not really explain the situation completely. Thankfully, we now have full insight into the matter. Oh boy, this is
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, let's see. Initially, it was assumed, like some of you, that because games like Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk are on the platform with similar types of uncensored mature content, Dispatch would be allowed to do the same. During the porting process, it became clear that was not the case, so we asked that we include a disclaimer on the store page to inform customers that content would be different than on other platforms. We worked with Nintendo to get storefront language approved. The key... Huh. As Nintendo states, any game that's going to be... I know I'm just reading from an article, but I find this fascinating. Needs to meet Nintendo's established content and platform guidelines. This is the key point. Nintendo has content guidelines. Our game didn't meet those guidelines, so we made changes that would allow us to release on their platform. That's what happened here. Honestly, we thought this would be obvious since we're the devs that released fully uncensored version of the game on other platforms.
Yeah.
Where we absolutely need to take full ownership is the placement of that disclaimer. Again, it was our intent to go out of our way to tell people looking to buy the game that the content was censored. While we didn't have complete control over the language, we did have control over the placement. Wires got crossed and we put the disclaimer in the field literally titled Disclaimer instead of the About the Game section. We didn't catch this until after the launch. We saw people saying we should have called out the changes on the store page. We wanted to make sure that it was there. It technically has been the entire time, just in the absolute worst spot that makes it look like we were trying to hide it. This is 100% our mistake, and it was fixed in the Americas store pages a few hours after launch to give it more visibility. We've also added a disclaimer before purchase. As of writing this, the other regions have either published this change or are in the process of review. Huh. That's so weird. I wonder what the difference is, like, why is this game censored and other games aren't? That's what I don't understand. But I don't know enough about this game to say for sure.
I don't either.
Because, like, this is weird, because again, like, we've seen things be censored on PlayStation that weren't censored on Nintendo, so what is it that's not meeting these guidelines? That's so bizarre. Weird story. Anyway.
I do have some breaking news, Chris, that I do know that you are going to care about.
Breaking news.
It's been... I mean, I'm just going to read his tweet. Mr. Vin Diesel has just put out this tweet, Chris. No one said the road would be easy, but it's ours. One that has defined us and become our legacy. And a legacy lasts forever. March 17th, 2028. Fast forever.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I posted that in the A Theater Near You chat around 3 o'clock this afternoon. To which, Greg responded with a Vin Diesel joke. Did you know Vin Diesel only eats 2 meals a day? Breakfast and Breakfurious.
It's outstanding. It's outstanding. I love that. That's real good.
That's a long time. When was Fast X or whatever the hell that last one was? That was completely insane. Yeah, it was a few years ago at least, because that was when we watched all the Fast and Furious movies. Like, I watched them all 15 minutes at a time for the podcast, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that's one of, like, living my life a quarter mile at a time, or whatever the fuck you were calling that. That was real good. That was very funny.
2023. Wow, that was 2023. So it was already 3 years ago. So it'll be 5 years between Fast X, like the to be continued of whether or not Dom survived an exploding dam that Jason Momoa blew up on him. And then Gal Gadot was on a submarine, even though she was dead. The movie was ridiculous, and I don't even remember most of it.
Yeah.
Fast forever. My God. Take your time, guys. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyways, moving on. Time Extension reports that 32X version of Virtua Racing has been decompiled. This is just one of those stories in the game preservation universe that I don't truly understand. It's just that so the 32X version of Virtua Racing Deluxe is a pretty solid port. It was probably like the best version of it that you could get at the time if you were into virtual racing, which I've never really been into virtual racing, but the 32X one looked real nice. If it's decompiled means that you can make native ports on like PC and whatnot and mess with it and do all kinds of stuff. So that's super cool that we're probably gonna see neat updated versions of Virtua Racing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, the more that these games can get decompiled and native ports can be pushed to PC, the better the preservation is going to be.
Yeah.
Like, full stop. Like, beyond all the other cool stuff that can happen with it. If you are someone who is concerned about, like, game preservation and not losing this shit to time, this is a good thing. And the more that this happens, the better it is.
Yeah, and it's really cool technical work, like getting all this done. It's utterly fascinating to me.
Yeah. It is very,
there's
very cool.
there's like a really good version of Virtua Racing that they put on Switch, I think. It's like a native port or something that just looks and plays just like the arcade one, but runs at 60 FPS. It's weird. No. I've never really gotten Virtual Racing. It just never really clicked with me. But other people like it a lot, and this is a thing that happened.
Not enough to keep the Dreamcast alive.
Well, this was before the Dreamcast days.
No, I know. It's just always fun to throw a little dig in there and get people upset and in their feelings. Time Extension reports that the Strong Museum of Play acquires comprehensive collection of Atari materials. The Strong Museum of Play is in Rochester, New York. We know a guy. And they have announced the acquisition of a comprehensive collection of Atari materials about Atari's home computer and console divisions from the early 1970s through the 2000s. The collection belonged to Kurt Vendel, a historian, engineer, and founder of the Atari Museum, who passed away unexpectedly in 2020 at 53. So his collection that has things like the 2600 television interface adapter chip, the redesigned Atari 2800, a Japanese version of the 2600, which was a Japanese version of the 2600, the unreleased Jaguar 2, like all this really cool, like interesting Atari stuff is now going to be on display in Rochester, New York, because the East Coast is better than everywhere else.
Yeah, I love this story. That's I mean, I don't love that guy died, but it's really neat that this stuff's all going to a museum. It's just wonderful.
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what comes out of it. Like, just what new information is going to come out of the museum having this stuff and pouring through all of it and making it a little bit more public than it used to be. That's just awesome. Speaking of awesome, Nintendo Life reports Keiji Inafune's Mighty No. 9 studio concept is finished. It was officially dissolved earlier this month.
It was officially dissolved as soon as they released Mighty No. 9. They just didn't tell anybody, unfortunately.
Like, talk about spending your goodwill.
Oh, just throwing it the fuck away.
Just absolutely dunking it in the toilet. They stuck around. Like, you gotta give them that. They did stick around. Apart from Mighty No. 9, the studio helped with games like Soul Sacrifice and Recore.
Yep.
But yeah, this was the second coming of Mega Man. This was going to be what we all wanted since Capcom was refusing to give us Mega Man. And
well, it was
we're going to make a cartoon. We're going to make a spin-off series. The game's going to be fine. And we're just going to
cart before the fucking horse, man.
Exactly. It was just it really broke my heart. I wanted to love this game, and then it was just fine at best.
I tried. It wasn't. It wasn't even that though. It sucks. It sucks.
Had some good ideas, but
it's unplayable.
The character designs, especially on Wii U. That's where I played. It was on Wii U, and it was just it was brutal.
It's unacceptable,
tragic.
man. And like, it was part of that time where like Igarashi broke away and Kojima broke away and Inafune broke away, and it was like
Toe Jam and Earl. Like, it was just like,
and it was like, we're finally gonna get like creators doing the thing that we want them to do. That's fucking awesome.
We're gonna get you.
And then it was like, maybe the corporations. Fuck! Don't make me say that maybe they need to exist.
Well, there's a certain degree of quality control and stuff that comes with these larger projects, especially when you. But then you get indie projects that don't work like that. You get stuff like Shovel Knight, where it's like, no, this is exactly what it should have been. Really, all just comes down to the studios. I mean, you can say what you will about Bloodstained, but you can't say that they didn't put their all into it.
I didn't. And I like Bloodstained.
I like it, but I didn't love it. It's just
I don't love it the way that I
Castlevania something.
Yeah,
but Mighty Number 9.
I just need a sexy blonde with a whip. That's what I'm into.
Don't we all? Anyway,
I mean, and we'll see. Like,
you broke my heart.
As it has been emblazoned here across my nips. We'll see where this Echo the Dolphin reboot goes. You know how much I can't wait.
Listeners, Dan is wearing an Echo the Dolphin t-shirt that was gifted to him because you guys are all awesome, and
you really are.
He now has to wear an Echo the Dolphin shirt.
He does.
Beautiful.
He's worn it twice this week. Anyway, Go Nintendo reports something that we had speculated on. The Disney Afternoon Collection comes to Switch and Switch 2 February 26th, 2026, but now includes Goof Troop and Bonkers, but not for anybody else.
Yeah, that was the follow-up story, is that it's just this new version on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. Which is really confusing, but it's got to have something to do with like what we were talking about last week. It's like all the names involved, Capcom and Disney and now Atari are involved because this is a Digital Eclipse joint. So it was probably like, all right, this version of the contract is done. We can make a new version, but it has to be its own unique thing.
Right.
And since the Disney Afternoon Collection is still available on the other platforms, they can't update it or something. I don't know.
Some weird. So anyway,
because
this is going to
published it on the other platforms, but Capcom's not publishing it on Switch and Switch 2. It's Atari.
Atari is, which is just.
It's so weird. I mean, Atari owns Digital Eclipse, but they're Capcom Disney games. Yeah, this is so weird. It doesn't matter. I'm glad that it's happening, and it does kind of matter. I don't know much about Bonkers, but I know Goof Troop has like some very important video game history involved. It's like got pieces of Resident Evil in it. This is a Shinji Mikami game. Yeah,
wild.
It's crazy. But the most important thing is that the DuckTales and the other stuff like the Darkwing Duck, they're gonna finally be on Switch and Switch 2. And
so this collection will have Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 2, DuckTales 2, Darkwing Duck. When you're in trouble, you call DW. Tailspin, Goof Troop, and Bonkers. So yeah, I mean it's a really, really solid collection of games. You can also go to Atari.com. There's a bunch of other retailers you can go to, and you can pre-order physical copies of this. It's a pretty sweet collection. I will forever be bummed out that this collection does not include the remake of DuckTales, and I will even be furthermore bummed out that we never got DuckTales 2 done that way.
Yeah,
I find that to be just.
I assume DuckTales Remastered is going to get re-released on its own someday. That's going to be its own package. That's not going to be in a collection. There's just
no way. And I hope it comes with DuckTales 2 Remastered.
Never
going to happen.
Not a chance.
It needs to.
I would love it if they would go through that process again, but I can't imagine they would. DuckTales 2 doesn't have the same cache as the original DuckTales did.
But fuck.
And you'd have to also, the voices wouldn't be able to match anymore. Like, I think that ship sailed. I honestly do, which is a bummer. But DuckTales 2 isn't as good a game as DuckTales 1. I think DuckTales Remastered itself is magic. It was lightning in a bottle, and I'm fine with it. But if that's ever going to get re-released, it's never going to be on a collection. It's going to be its own release, and that's fine.
Yeah,
because
that is fine. It is a great fucking
But this,
game.
like, I don't think there's anything else you could add to this. The only thing that this is really missing as far as video games based on Disney Afternoon stuff is Gargoyles, but they just re-released that solo for some fucking reason.
And the Gargoyles is such a different thing than this.
Right, there is a different kind of thing, but it was very much the Disney Afternoon.
It was, but it's a very different vibe.
The Gargoyles game... Gargoyles Remastered. Like, it was such a weird thing that this was just, we're going to remaster this Sega Genesis game, and that's it.
Yeah. That's not a very good game. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It on its own. Like,
yeah, it's not good.
The original version should have been included on this. That's all I'm saying. They should have put the original 16-bit version on the Disney Afternoon Collection, because it's the Disney Afternoon Collection. God damn it.
It is.
It's better than the Ren and Stimpy Happy Joy Joy collection. Like,
yeah, I didn't even put that on here because
like,
who cares?
Oh, exactly. None of these games.
Those games are terrible.
It's got Space Cadet Adventures, Vidiots, Buckaroos, Time Warp, and Fire Dogs. I don't know how many of those I have played, but I know that every Ren and Stimpy game I've ever played, I did not care for at all. So,
but this is what happens when people buy the Bill and Ted collection, because those games suck too. Those games are terrible.
Those were worse than the Ren and Stimpy ones. That was.
But this is what I'm saying. People bought that.
Night Trap over and over. Night Trap is terrible.
People make me angry.
I'm sure somebody has nostalgia for this Ren and Stimpy collection, but like that one stuck out.
Sure.
Like, what are we doing? That's just nuts.
Anyway, so sorry I stole that second story, but I am happy that you get to read this because I lied. I did add this one, and this makes me really happy.
Push Square reports voting is now open on Mega Man Dual Override's boss design competition, and I'm sad that I didn't enter mine. Capcom is busy plugging away its upcoming action platformer Mega Man Dual Override, but it's delegated one job to the fans. So yeah, let's see. Where can we see these? Submissions closed a while ago. Capcom has now shortlisted 20 of the best fan-made designs. Do they have these posted yet?
They do. Yep, it's on this website, the CapcomGames.com. It's linked to in the article.
Wow,
it does
these
make
are great.
So these designs are great. What infuriates me is that they have them. They're not numbered designs. They're lettered designs, and they stop at the letter T. Like, you could have just picked 6 more, you fucking dickheads.
Wow, these are really interesting takes, and so much better than anything I would have come up with. These are so much better than anything I would have come up with.
What I really like about
Nintendo Force with these, but
yeah, what I really like about the images that are posted here you can see that some of these are like digital art, and you can see that some of these were like fans drawing in a notebook.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, this feels very old school to me.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of the old Nintendo Power one. This is Maestro, man. That's cool.
There is a theme, though. I don't know if you're noticing it, Chris, but almost every one of these characters has like a long extendy arm.
That was a rule.
Oh, okay. Fuck, I missed that part. Never mind. I take it back. I sound like an asshole.
We're
edit that out so I sound smart.
Master who has a right arm with immense suction powers, and they gave a what's it, like a basic overview of like, these are the basic parameters of what you're supposed to look like. And the right arm needed to have like a long hose situation, and it was supposed to have something suction related. Those were the guidelines for the contest.
See, I didn't even read it because I wasn't gonna enter or anything, but like Battleman up there threw me off because he doesn't really have the same thing.
He's got a nose on his, like it's an elephant nose that's got the immense suction power.
But it's not long the way some of these other. I really quite
less
like
hosey. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I like Sweeper Woman. I'm kind of into Sweeper Woman. I dig Recycle Man. Because a lot of these are like Vacuum or Cleaner Man or like very similar to that. Although Vacuum Man,
I like this
dope.
Vacuum Man that's got Roombas that he can send out. I think that's really clever.
That's pretty fun. I like that. I like Cactus Man. I don't know why Cactus can suck, but but I don't know. Yeah, this is really cool. People should go on and vote.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to vote. We're doing, so like in Nintendo Force, Lucas wanted us all to come up with our own designs, and I still haven't done it because I'm terrible at drawing. But he wanted us all to do it. He wanted, if our kids wanted to do it, they should do it too. And like my kids were all into it until I told them that there were those parameters. Like it had to be suction based with a long arm. And they're like, never mind. That doesn't inspire me. And honestly, it took a lot of the wind out of my sails in the project too. But man, seeing what other people came up with, these are really great. Juggle Man, I like that. Velt Man.
I'm going to submit, since they all have to be suck-based, I'm going to design a Fleet Week Man. And, just go.
Fleshlight Man.
There it was. I was trying to be a little bit more subtle. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, no, these are really cool. I like Juggle Man a lot. I like this Valve Man that's on here too, like an evil firefighter.
That's great.
Like in the suction. It's not really suction though. Like I know he's sucking the water out and like spitting it out of his head. I don't know, it's a cool design. I dig it. Maestro Man.
All right,
yeah,
what's
this
next,
is really
Dan?
cool. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna sit here thinking about Suck Man all night. IGN reports that fans decry heavy image sharing restrictions for Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream that Nintendo says are necessary to ensure fun and safe gameplay, because that's what I want a bunch of out-of-touch adults defining for me is what is both fun and safe. Yeah, tell me about this story, Chris. I didn't read about this. I didn't watch the direct. I don't
really care about Tamagotchi Life. So apparently they're blocking like the any sort of real direct sharing of screenshots that you can do.
Okay.
Like the normal way that you can share screenshots, they're not letting you do that because there's a lot of... You can basically make whatever you want in the game.
Okay.
So if you want to have like a me of Hitler and Donald Trump falling in love and going on dates, you can do that. And Nintendo doesn't want any part of that directly showing up on social media, I suppose.
But okay.
But that's the game. That's what's gonna like.
That's the whole.
Sharing
the whole point.
The ridiculous things that you can do in Tamagotchi Life, as far as I understand, is the point of Tamagotchi Life. Sharing those kind of ridiculous situations you come up with your friends is the point of it. I don't really get it. It doesn't do anything for me, so...
Yeah. There was a lot of the responses seem to be that sort of thing, right? Like, people posting here, social media was going to shoot this into the stratosphere. Instead, they killed it. Very disappointing. Wasn't this like the reason people were into Tamagotchi Life the last time? Being able to share goofy images with friends. Sure, you could be gay and non-binary, but you better not show anyone.
Well, that was the story before this, was like, when the original Tamagotchi Life came out on 3DS, everyone was like, what the fuck, why can't you be gay? Like, that's not cool, Nintendo. And Nintendo
That is not cool, Nintendo.
Nintendo made a statement. They were like, look, if we ever make another one of these, you will be allowed to do that, we promise. And they made good on that. That was one of the things they showed off first in this Nintendo Direct, was just like, be as queer as you want, be as non-binary, whatever. It's like, it's all in here, go nuts. They made good on that, and I commend them for that. but then someone somewhere along the way was just like, you know what we probably shouldn't do in the interest of not getting into social media trouble and damaging our brand is put limitations on this, and there's no winning in that situation. Like,
no, there's really
on the side
not.
of freedom of speech. Like, I would err on the side of like, no, let people do what people are going to do. Like, you didn't make Hitler. You made a game where somebody could theoretically do that, but you know,
right.
You made Mario Maker as well, and you can do all kinds of weird shit in there too. But
yeah, but freedom of speech is not an amendment anywhere else but the United States. So
yeah, so like I almost get it, but also like I think they should have erred in the other direction. I think they should have. It's not like people aren't going to be able to share screenshots. They just made it that much more difficult. Like they just made it. It's not direct. It's not as easy as it is in other games. So it's like
right.
I don't think it's as hyperbolic as the people saying that they've killed it, but they've also kind of shot it in the foot.
Chris, hold on
the internet.
Hold on. Wait a second. Let me wait. Are you you're suggesting that the internet may have collectively overreacted or overinflated a story? I
know. It's weird.
I find that hard to believe, as they've literally never done that ever before.
Ever. Literally.
Ever. Literally.
Yeah, I mean, look. This is weird because it's happening at the same time as the dispatch censorship thing, you know?
Right.
Like, this is just a bunch of weird, unfortunate censorship-related news coming out of Nintendo, and I don't know how much they're directly involved in it. Like, this one is all their decision, and it's like,
right.
Okay, but this is similar. This is reminding me of the whole, like, delaying Advance Wars thing. Like, I get it. I do. But
I get it,
I kind of feel like
why?
this game's... I kind of feel like you didn't need to do that, and now you're shooting this game in the foot. But look, none of this matters. It don't matter. None of this matters.
None of this matters.
None of this matters because we got a new trailer for Virtual Boy Nintendo Classics.
Yeah, we did.
While there are still unanswered questions, this is marvelous. We got, some specific dates. February 17th. We're getting a bunch of games right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What are the games that are coming on day one?
I feel like for the Virtual Boy, it should be all of them on day one.
Well, you know what? That's what I thought initially, but then they changed things. They changed the game, Dan, and I was high on this for days. So they went over a couple of the things. You're going to be able to change the controls. You're going to be able to rewind. That's great. It's cool that they're adding all this stuff. The menu system is all in red and black too, which I find hilarious. Instead of black and white, like it's just they went in all in on the red, which is great. But also, I'm looking at this, and I swear to God, I don't know why they're not letting us know if you can play these games in 2D for like definite. But either way. They showed off the games that were coming out earlier, right? You've got Galactic Pinball, 3D Tetris, Telero Boxer, Virtual Boy Wario Land, Innsmouth, Golf, Red Alert. Not Red Alert. Yeah, it is Red Alert. Red Alarm? Red Alarm. Red Alert. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Red Alarm. And then they showed like the new features, but then games coming in 2026. Very strange. Mario's Tennis is not going to be there at launch. That was the pack-in game for the system. Strange that that's not there.
Yeah.
Jack Brothers, the Space Invaders. What is it? Space Invaders. I'm just going to hit play. Go ahead. Space Invaders Virtual Collection. That one's pretty neat. Virtual Bowling, which is solid bowling. Vertical Force is good. V Tetris is great. And this is where I lost my fucking mind. Previously unreleased games.
That is very cool. The thing about the Virtual
Boy is, there was a bunch of stuff in the works for it, but the system failed so colossally that a ton of games got canceled, and we're never going to know what they all were. But the fact that there were a handful of games that were reported to be done, like these games were ready to go out the door and then they just got pulled back, was always heartbreaking to me. Two of those games.
Because what if those games would have saved it?
They definitely wouldn't have. Nothing could have saved it, but wouldn't have been cool if they did. There were two games in particular that I saw ads for when I was younger, were Dragon Hopper and Bound High. And those two games I was very, 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 very interested in playing. And then I later found out about Zero Racers, which is a spin-off for F-Zero that was fully completed for the Virtual Boy. But again, screenshots at best. Like there was some off-camera footage of these games in existence, like Dragon Hopper in particular was so interesting to me, but just they've never been leaked. Bound High did get leaked. Bound High, there's a fully playable version of it that people made it on cartridges and whatnot. I've played that game on a flash card. It's really, really cool. I'm devastated that it's not included here, and I'm so angry that it's not included in this, because I don't see any reason why it wouldn't have been, and Nintendo was going to be publishing it, and it's a genuinely great game. It's really, really fun. But they got to this point, I said, previously unreleased games, excuse the fuck out of me, Zero Racers? Lost my fucking mind. This is an F-Zero game that we never got. It's like an F-Zero flight game. And then they did the Dragon Hopper. It's called D-Hopper now for some reason, and I don't know why, but I don't care. Because
it's a very different game now, Chris.
Oh boy. This game looks so wild. So it looks like kind of an adventure game. Like you're this cute little dragon thing, and it's got like story elements and whatnot, and just seeing direct feed footage of this blew my fucking mind, because all I've ever seen was the off-screen footage from like trade shows, and there it is. It's really happening. I can't freaking believe it. It's coming. I'm gonna get to play Dragon Hopper in my lifetime. I will get to play Dragon Hopper, and then they threw on top of that, later this year, you're going to be able to change the screen color.
Which I think is actually the biggest thing.
That's huge. You just need to remove the eye shades in order to view them in the different colors, because the eye shades themselves are red. Right. Now, here's the thing. Remove the lens to use this feature. Not applicable for the Virtual Boy cardboard model for Nintendo Switch 2. Let's see. It says Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack membership required to access Virtual Boy Nintendo Classics collection of games. Now, this is where we're getting into the confusing territory, because they said
because Nintendo is bad at messaging.
I almost feel like they're being intentionally bad at messaging to try to sell more of the accessory, because they said, you know, you have to use these things in order to play the games. But then they posted on Twitter. Let me see if I can find that again. Where the hell is Twitter? Sorry, X.
It just looks so much better in black and white.
They really do.
It just really does.
Nintendo of America. Now, if we go to Nintendo of America's post about the Virtual Boy from a few days ago, scrolly, scrolly, scroll, lots of Tamagotchi life stuff, blah, 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 blah. Wow, they posted a lot about Tamagotchi life. Holy cats. Baby Waluigi. This is the Nintendo Music Wario. Okay, here we go. Members can now pre-purchase a Virtual Boy accessory which is needed to play the games in 3D. That doesn't say needed to play the games. It just says needed to play the games in 3D.
Right.
So,
which is an important distinction.
It is an important distinction, and there's like a bunch of people asking in the comments, okay, so does that mean it won't require that, like, we can play them in 2D on our TV screens? And Nintendo refuses to answer that question. I have to assume that we can do that. I want to in my heart of hearts, because that's what I want. I don't want to play these games pressing my face into a Virtual Boy. Like, I will.
It would just be so weird if you couldn't.
And it would be so Nintendo if you couldn't. Like,
That's
these games
fair.
are definitely better in 3D. There is no question about it. I have played them on emulation, and I've played them on the original Virtual Boy, and they are better in 3D. There's no question about it. Except that it's very uncomfortable, and my eyes don't see it super well anymore. So just being able to sit back and play them in black and white on my TV, I will give up that three dimension. Because, like, the trailer's in 2D, and it looks fine.
Yeah,
It's red, but it looks great. Telluride Boxer is such a cool looking game, no matter how you slice it. So
yeah,
the like Wario Land is just as good without the 3D effect. Virtual Boy Wario Land is just a damn good game. I can't wait to play it again, and I just hope that they don't put a senseless restriction preventing people from playing these games, because this is a great opportunity for people to play a bunch of neat stuff that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise.
Yeah,
that's been needlessly tied to a 3D effect that's not necessary for the games. Like, it's
not necessary or relevant.
Yeah, like Mario's Tennis. I will give Mario's Tennis is harder to play without the 3D effect on, but it's not impossible. I've played it on my TV through Shmemulation. It is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to play Dragon Hopper. I am going to get to play Dragon Hopper in my lifetime, and I just can't believe it. I am thrilled beyond belief. I do find it concerning that the like they're not using any of the box art, probably because there must be some sort of copyright. Somebody else must have used the term Dragon Hopper since they were going to release this.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, I was very happy.
Finally, Chris, every now and again, I think to myself, I'm pretty nerdy. And then I read stories like this and I go, oh, I'm fucking not. Part of the canned F-Zero game Zero Racers has been out there for years. We just didn't know it. Yada, yada, yada. We just talked about Zero Racers is coming off. F-Zero spinoff for the Game Boy. But apparently, Andrew Borman, on Blue Sky, said, thanks to someone on my YouTube channel for bringing it up, but apparently we've had part of Zero Racers, the upcoming previously unreleased VB game, for years. The song heard in the trailer plays in the Game Boy Color demo cart.
This is so wild.
The Game Boy Color demo cart has a piece of the Zero Racers music, and somebody was like, I know that shit, I recognize it, fuck yeah. And then it's
the exact same song, except playing out of a Game Boy Color instead of a Virtual Boy. Like, and it's the full version. Like, you just play this thing, and like, it's going, like, it's this song, and then this trailer came on, and that's the exact same song. It's so crazy. But like, Nintendo's done that kind of stuff in the past. What's it, there's music in the Nintendo World Championships competition cart that was repurposed in, what did that get reused for? They put it in an actual game. Oh, it was, that's right. The Hello Kitty game. They did Balloon Kid, but they made a Famicom version of Balloon Kid, and then they took music from the Nintendo World Championships, like menu music, and made that the bonus level music instead of the balloon fight music. It's so weird, but Nintendo has a history of doing this kind of thing. They'll make a good song, they'll put in another piece of software.
Don't get me wrong. I am not disparaging anybody by saying this. I'm just saying, I'm just not that observant. I'm not that deep into fucking anything, I guess. Like, I would never, ever fucking pick up on something like that.
I would. And I did. I picked up on the Nintendo World Championship thing. I didn't read
many times,
I just did it.
How many times have we done our trivia episodes and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I fucking heard it. I couldn't tell you where it's from. I have no idea. And I guarantee you this dude was sitting there and he was like, fucking Game Boy demo cart. Got that shit right here. Gonna upload it real quick. Hold on a sec. Like, I know he knew it fucking right away.
No, immediately, without question.
Immediately, if not sooner. So
it's a thing of beauty.
It is. That's it, though, Chris. That was our final story.
This
is a slow week that we stretched into an hour.
We sure did, because we're terrible. With that, we're going to take ourselves another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to check in with Checkpoint, talk about what we've been playing, etc., etc. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from geekade.com. Stick around.